Cobre, Desensitizing with a Flag, Bluebonnet Equine Challenge Fall of 2022. The purpose of using a flag with a horse is to get them used to certain motion to the point where they're not going to react and try to run away from it. To get them to the point where they'll stand still, they're comfortable, and those types of things don't faze them. Horses, as prey animals, definitely are looking for every possibility of everything around them that could be a threat in a sense. And so using the flag, kind of moving it in certain directions on both sides of her, above her head, and just kind of getting her used to that. As you can see, she's, for the most part, relatively relaxed. She does kind of tense up a few times. The key is when you're stopping that motion. You want to make sure to try and not only to stop that motion when they're standing still, which she did really well with that. Didn't really try to run away from the flag, or wasn't super bothered by the flag. You can see her ears are twitching. She's paying attention. She's kind of like, hey, what's that? But she's not running away. She's not panicking. She's standing there very pretty patiently, and is doing a really good job at tolerating this thing that's moving up and down. That's kind of odd. You can see I had a little oopsie and the flag came off of my stick right there. But as far as her reaction to the flag, all in all, really pretty good. The important thing, like I was saying, is to stop that motion, when they're not moving, when they've kind of relaxed and calmed down, and B, also then when they're calm. So there's kind of two different stages. One right here, I got a little closer to her and she kind of backed away from it. So I don't stop moving that flag until she stops moving and backing up. Basically, I'm in removing that motion, rewarding her for standing still. And so it's a process. It's not something that you do one time. It's not something that, it's something that you kind of have to go and revisit. And here I'm kind of just letting her sniff it and smell it, letting the flag actually touch her, seeing how she reacts and responds to that. And, she's a little curious. And then, when it kind of brushed by her face, she's like, hey, I'm not so sure about that. And so she started moving. She says, oh, that was a little too close. It waving in front of me several feet, okay, fine. It waving kind of closer to my face, I'm not so sure about that. And I had to kind of regroup there and get my lunge line together. But then we kind of go back to what we were doing. Waving that kind of close-ish to her face, and only taking it away when she's standing still, quiet. Even also paying attention, once we've got to the point where she's standing still, even also kind of looking for that moment where her whole body relaxes. Those are kind of some of the two different stages that you can do to kind of work with the flag even more. Not moving is kind of the first part, and then actually her whole body relaxing, her muscles not being tense and tight. You can see kind of in a few of these moments, she kind of tenses up and braces, and kind of you can see on her face and with her body that she tenses. And so really catching those moments, rewarding those moments by stopping moving the flag, and taking that flag away is really the optimal goal. That way you can kind of teach her that when she relaxes, she's comfortable, when she's not moving, when she's not tense, is when that flag stops moving near her and when she gets rewarded for it. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. And all in all, Definitely gets a little more tense when it starts to touch her. She's a pretty sensitive girl, and when it gets close enough that it's touching her, she says, I'm not so sure about this. This is kind of a little bit scary. So I'm just trying my best to keep it moving, keeping it at that same distance until she settles down and stops moving. And then, like right there, stopping it and letting her pause for a second. And it's just a matter of, repeating this process, um, at different levels, different distances. She may be okay with it at, 5 feet away, but not at, 2 feet. She may be okay with it at 2 feet, but not at touching her. And so kind of just trying to increase her tolerances here. And again, this is something that's done over time, not something that's done with one time, one session, something that's done over multiple days and weeks, of trying to work with her with this.